Hey plant lovers, welcome to the Emerald Fig. I'm Claudia and I am embracing my Señora era. Join me in learning, thriving, and bringing a little more peace, green, and joy into our lives. In my very first video, I thought what a better way to introduce myself than to give you a full houseplant walkthrough of my collection. You ready? Let's do it. Alright, so we'll start here. This is a buffet that I keep in the living room, and this is not my ideal setup for these plants. Eventually I'd like to put some shelves up here and get some plants at higher levels to get the most benefit out of the light, but for now this is going to have to do. We'll start here with, actually this is a new addition to my collection. This is a philodendron Jose Bueno. I know sometimes people say Jose Bueno because it just rolls off the tongue a little nicer, but it's Jose Bueno. And I'm loving the variegation on here. It has a little bit more on this leaf. It's just a really nice specimen. I found this at a local plant shop, and I was surprised because this is considered a little bit more, I guess, on the rarer side, and that plant shop usually doesn't carry these type of plants, so it was a nice little find. And then over here we have another philodendron here, and this is actually ready for a repot. You can see here this is a dragon tail, but if you look here, these are crawlers, and you see it's just about outgrown this tiny little pot that it came in. So I'm going to need to repot that pretty soon here. But she is beautiful. Just gorgeous. No complaints as whatsoever. She has not fenestrated yet, but she is on the younger side. She's a younger plant. And then right up here we have an Alocasia poly. Now she did have more leaves, and I think there's some sort of, I'm hoping not, but I think there might be some sort of pest issue going on, or maybe I just had some older leaves, but she's just lost a couple leaves as of recently. But I just love the exotic look of this plant. It's just very, I guess it's in the name right, Amazonica, but she's just a beautiful plant. I love it. And then here we have an Alocasia long liloba. I think it's a silver. I think, yeah, this is the silver, and this is currently the only leaf it has. And this is the only leaf it's given me since I've had it. I've had this for about 6 months, and it started very, very small with tiny, tiny little leaves about that size. And it just lost one of the leaves. So this is currently the only leaf it has, but it is quite large. You can see it's about the size of my hand, if not a tiny bit bigger. We have a philodendron white wizard here. I just love the white and green together. So pretty. And then the philodendron white knight, and she's getting ready to give me a new leaf. You can see here. Now this has been slow to grow, and I'm thinking that's probably my doing. I probably put it in a pot that's much too large. But that's when I was first starting to repot plants and just starting to learn about it. But she's given me a few new leaves. The variegation isn't amazing on it, but I'm just hoping with every new leaf I get, it's going to give me a little bit more variegation. Here I have my Alocasia Dragon's Breath. Alocasia Dragon's Breath. This is just gorgeous, and the amount of new leaves it's given me is just insane. Like look at all these new leaves. This is a new leaf. This is a new leaf. It has new growth coming in here. Just so many new leaves, and I'm here for it. I love it. This beauty right here, philodendron Green Congo Nuclear. Look at the variegation on there. Now you can see here it has some pest damage, unfortunately. I'm not sure what has caused that. I have sprayed this plant down so many times. But the variegation is beautiful nonetheless. Look at this half moon. I messed up and I kind of tore it a little bit there, but she's still beautiful. And we have a couple jewel alocasias here. I don't remember each name precisely, but they're all gorgeous. And I love how different they all are. The texture on this is beautiful. Look at, gorgeous. This one's a little darker. See how dark that is? The darker the better for me, I think. It's just beautiful. So we have 3 jewel alocasias right up front here. Look at how dark this sleeve is. Beautiful. This smaller one, now this has not given me any new growth. And I'm thinking it's probably just not going to. Or maybe it just needs more humidity. I might put it in a dome and see if that does anything. It is kind of hurting. You can tell here the tips there are dry. But I love it nonetheless. Up here we have a philodendron silver sword, and I have this on just a standard moss pole. Now it's not getting any benefits out of this moss pole because it's not moist. It's meant more for like support, but it is giving me new leaves nonetheless. It has beautiful color. Look at this new leaf, just how silvery and shiny it is. Now this is llama down here. My husband thought it'd be funny to put it in there. Not sure why, but he gets a kick out of messing with my stuff. Look at how pretty. Beautiful color. And here we have an Alocasia Cuprea Red Secret. Look at this leaf here. And what I love about this Alocasia is that it just looks so like otherworldly. Like, does this not look alien-like to you? Almost like a brain even. Something out of one of the Alien movies. I just love how metallic it is. The purple hue to it. It's just gorgeous. No complaints whatsoever with this plant. And here we have an Alocasia Bambino. Little cutie. It's like a little mini Amazonica, a mini Polly. Just adorable. Here we have, I think this is a Maharani, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it's another jewel Alocasia. 3 solid leaves. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. Let's bring it a little more forward there to get a little bit more color. Another, I think this is the Dragon Scale. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have all the names memorized for these jewel Alocasias, but I do love the texture on all of them. They're just so different. And the weirder the better, I say. Now this plant here is another Alocasia. I'm not sure what it is, but it has the pink stems there. And these are the only 2 leaves I have on it, and I got it like this, kind of damaged. So I'm hoping it will give me some beautiful new leaves when it's ready. But that's okay. We'll just be patient with her. And here we have an Alocasia Golden Dragon. Now this is an older leaf. You can see it has some damage there. That's why I'm saying I think there's some sort of pest issue going on. If you're familiar with this and you know what kind of pest is attacking my collection here, please by all means let me know. This is the newest leaf. And this is quite large leaf. You can see it's bigger than my hand here. But I love it. The bigger the better. Now this philodendron did not have a label on it when I got it. I think it's a horse head. I think that's what it's called. It's giving me a new leaf here. But it has lots of leaves. It's a solid specimen. No variegation, just a standard green. Maybe a dragon? I'm not sure. But if you know, let me know. Back here I have a philodendron red sun. Now the thing with this philodendron is when the leaves first come out, they come out this kind of like bronzy color and they turn the bright red, which is what I love about it. It's just a gorgeous red, and then they will fade into a darker green, which is still beautiful nonetheless. But this I have on a moss pole, and I have to admit I am awful with keeping moss poles hydrated. Like, this is all crunchy. So really this is just, it's on there for support purposes. So I probably should get it off of here and just get it on a stake. It'd probably benefit better from that. And this beauty here, she's a big girl. Philodendron painted lady. And she is beautiful and she is solid and no complaints whatsoever. She's just growing rough abandoned here, and I'm just letting her do her thing. Over on this side, ooh, new leaf on my philodendron Paraíso Verde. Now what I like about this is the variegation on the leaves. Now I think it's obvious green is my favorite color, but the more variegation of green the better. Look at the variegation on that leaf. And the thing with this plant is the heat is what gives it its variegation. So the warmer it is, the more you are likely to get variegation. So some of these leaves look like they've reverted. Like there's not a whole lot of variegation on there. So I'm thinking, look at the variegation on that leaf. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get it maybe closer to the light. This corner doesn't get a whole lot of light, but this room in general is very warm. And then here, this is a cutting from a Hoya, what is that? Hoya carnosa, I believe. I have a very large one that I am rehoming, and so I just took a cutting off that one just to keep it in my collection. It is a very nice plant once it gets going. You can get it on a trellis. It'll look beautiful on a trellis, and then once it starts to flower, of course, even better. And then down here I have a Hoya carrii. Now Hoya carrii, what I love about it is how big and thick the leaves are. Look at that leaf. But aside from that, it doesn't really do a whole lot for me. And to be honest, I really don't think it likes being in this terracotta pot. I think I need to take it out of there and put it back into a plastic pot with drainage, and then maybe get it on a trellis. And then maybe if it does something for me, then I'll re-spark my interest in it. But you know, it's here and it's part of the collection, so she's appreciated anyway. Now this one here, look at this Hoya obovata. Now let me bring it out so you can just appreciate the massiveness of this. Now look at this. She is just growing ridiculous, like just so full and thick and luscious, and I love that about this plant. It's just a constant, no complaints. It has put out these tendrils, which obviously means I need to get it on some sort of trellis, but it has all of these little, I'm hoping they're nodes. I don't think they're aerial roots, but I'm newer to Hoyas, so let me know if that's what you think it is. Back here in this corner, I have a Monstera Esqueleto. Now, what I loved about this Monstera, and I first decided to add it to my collection, was how beautiful the leaves look when they reach like their full potential, when they're just huge. This one really is just vining at the moment. So it has this long vine, and I've even already taken a cutting off the vine. I had it on a trellis initially when I added it to my collection, but it just outgrew the trellis like within like 2 weeks, it was off the trellis and it didn't really up in size. So it might still be like an immature plant. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it needs more humidity. But even vining, I think it's pretty. I don't mind it growing up this window here. Right up here, we have a Tradescantia Nanook. Now, I've tried growing this plant in the past and it just rotted away for me. So I was apprehensive about adding it back into my collection. But this specimen here has seemed to just taken to this position I have it in here. So I'm trying not to relocate its position just to not, jinx myself. But it's a beautiful plant and I love the purple hue on it, the light purpleness. And she's strong. She's a solid plant. No complaints. I think I got the watering down for it so it doesn't rot on me. But she's beautiful. Now here I have a standard pothos. Well, not standard. I believe this is the golden. And she is long. Look at her from there all the way down here. She's a long girl. But you can never go wrong with a pothos. It's just, and look at the leaves on this, like also huge leaves. Now I'm sure if I were to get this climbing, because all of these aerial roots, that's what it wants. It wants to climb. I'm sure if I were to get it climbing, they'd even upsize even more. I've seen them like growing on trees, like in other people's videos, and they just get huge. But there's just something about growing it hanging that I love so much. And this particular one came with, maybe it's more than one type in here, because look at this leaf here. It almost looks like they added a marble to it. But I've taken several cuttings off of this one and made other plants that have since been rehomed. But that's the thing with pothos, is it grows so quickly, like you can keep pushing out new plants constantly, but always being thankful to the mother plant for gifting you more beauties. Now this next part I'm about to show you, like, it's so embarrassing, it's so dirty, and I cannot wait to get this ripped out and put just down standard flooring. But this indoor garden area was here when we bought the house, when we moved in, and I cannot stand it because it just creates so much dust, and I have cats who like to get in here and dig, but nonetheless I'm utilizing the space. So here I have a ficus burgundy. Now I'm going to move this out of here pretty soon because it's not growing to its full potential the way it should. They should be growing tree-like, and it's not happy here. And I might just take it out and put it on my patio, and where it can get more light, and then maybe it'll start to grow upwards more. But right now the leaves are very small, although the color is still deep and dark and beautiful. That's what I love about it. Down here I have a cordyline, and I just love the pinkiness of it. I can't wait for that to get a little taller. Here I'm rehabbing a Dieffenbachia tropical snow. She's not doing a whole lot for me, and quite frankly I think she's going to end up as fertilizer or something for the outdoors. But yeah, I'm not having much luck with that one. I've grown other Dieffenbachia tropic snows and have rehomed them, and they have just done great. But this one I got off the reject rack, and I've been trying my hardest to get her to come around, and I think she's given up. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Here we have an Alocasia regal shield. Now this is really special because it popped out in my front yard. There must have just been a a little corm that just blew in there. And that's the thing with having a yard is, and especially where I live, is, you know, we get what's called the Santa Ana winds where I live. So it'll blow all kinds of things into your yard, like, you know, trash and whatnot. But sometimes you'll get little corms of things. I've had random rose bushes pop up. And this one, along with my first real shield, which I have in the other room, just popped up in my yard out of nowhere. And I'm just so thankful for it. Here we have a philodendron, I think it's called a fire flash. It's a fire flash, and it's down here, and quite frankly, I'm going to be honest, like, I neglect this plant. Like, I forget it's down here, and it's thriving anyway. Like, it's happy. Look at, like, new leaf. The color's gorgeous. No complaints. Easygoing girl. Here we have a little, I think it's a little type of agave plant. Now, what I like about it is that it looks fake, like with the lines on it. It makes it look like it's a drawing, like something, you know, someone would have drawn in a comic book or whatnot. And I love it. I love that about it. Here we have another type of agave plant. And she's just happy as a clam. I may take her out and put her on the porch too. It's summertime, so she might really just blossom with the outside light. And in fact, yeah, I think I am going to do that. Here is a piece of my fern leaf cactus that I am propagating. I've been waiting for this one to root, and I think it may have rooted already. Here we have a Sansevieria black coral. This is off my mother plant. I actually took the mother plant and I broke it up into several pieces and rehomed them, but I kept back this little piece just for me. And then here we have a philodendron. I think it's a green apple. Just a standard green philodendron. She's happy there, so I just let her hang out. Now here we have a couple of ficuses. So I think this is the Altissima, and then this is the Audrey. Now I have them both in terracotta, and I actually think I'm going to take them out of there because terracotta is just so porous, and it's not the best thing for every plant. And I'm constantly having to water it. So because terracotta is porous, it absorbs a lot of the water, and it's great if you're an overwaterer because it helps you regulate how much water the plant is actually getting. But I'm not an overwaterer, so I think it would be better just to repot them back into standard grow pots. Here we have Aglaonema sparkles. No, it's not a sparkles. I don't remember the name. But isn't she gorgeous? She is just gorgeous. I just love her so much. Look at all the color on here. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And here we have another Dieffenbachia. Now, when I first started my plant collection, I said, I'm going to remember the name of every single plant I have, because that was part of the joy for me, was learning the names of the plants and what they like and how they grow and all of that. And I tell you, I quickly forgot all the names. But isn't she gorgeous? And new leaf coming through. Now this next baby, she is my pride and joy. This is my Anthurium pallidiflorum. Now I have to say that this is probably the most expensive plant I've ever purchased. I'm not going to say how much I paid, but if you're a plant person, you probably know. And she is just the cat's meow to me. And she's giving me an inflorescence, and I am very much considering collecting the pollen and creating some berries once it goes into the female phase. But she is just gorgeous. This is the newest leaf it has given me. Just perfect and deep and green and long. Look at how long that is. And she does have another leaf coming in here. And I hope it's just as long or longer than the last one. Oh, and I almost missed this one up here. Now this is a Pothos Global Green. Now you can see the variegation. See, it's not a standard pothos. Like, I just love the variegation on this. Now this probably has to be my favorite type of pothos just because of all the different shades of green on it, and it's different, and it's not like the standard pothos you see. I mean, look at that leaf. It's just gorgeous. Now I have taken cuttings off of this one, and I regret doing it because I just want to keep it all to myself. But it does also make me happy to share with other people and have them fall in love with these plants as much as I love them. But this one is by far my favorite type of pothos thus far. Now up here we have my huge fern leaf cactus. Now she has given me so much growth, and I actually want to find a different place to put her, but for right now this is going to have to do. Maybe when I put up those shelves I mentioned earlier, I can find a nice special corner to have her, but that way she can, you know, reach her full potential and potentially flower for me. I can't wait for that to happen, but she's just happy as a clam up there. Now here we have a Philodendron Spiritus Sancti. Now this plant arrived somewhat damaged. This is an order from a company that, you know, normally I have no issues from, and I let them know when the plant came in that it looked like it had damage. Like you see this, like that is not part of the normal makeup of the plant. She has given me a new leaf. This is a new leaf, and the new leaf looks beautiful. And there's another new leaf coming here. And what I liked about this plant is how long the leaves can get. Like the potential of how long they can get is just, you know, ginormous. And the longer the better, obviously, given my pallidiflorum obsession. But yeah, I can't wait to see this grow as much as it can. Here we have a Peperomia maculosa. Maculata? I think it's maculosa. That sounds like a Harry Potter spell or something, but it's just a very cool peperomia. I love that. I love the veininess of it. Very cool. It almost looks like watermelon type. Here are a couple cuttings I took. Now I do sell cuttings of my plants, but these have been in water for a while, and they're about ready to be potted up. You can see some growth in there. So that's going to be a project probably for this weekend, to get all of these potted up into little pots and get them rehomed. Now, there are pots and vessels and receptacles for days in this house. And they've kind of taken over the house. But I also do like succulent arrangements, and that's what I use like the teacups for and the bowls for. You know, I have all these little jars for cuttings and whatnot, and you can use anything. You can use anything as a plant receptacle, especially if it's for cuttings or for a succulent arrangement. Like, the possibilities are endless. And here's that cutting for that that I took off my Monstera Esqueleto. You see how long this tendril is? And it's gotten even longer since I took it as a cutting. It looks like it's going to get a couple new leaves there. But that's just about ready to be potted up too. And when I rehome this, I might rehome it on a trellis of some sort or a support. But yeah, that one's just about ready to be potted up as well. Now, if we go back over this way, here is a Thanksgiving cactus, and this flowers beautifully during its blooming season. Now this isn't mine, this actually belongs to my mom, but she is just ginormous. Look at how big she is, just ginormous. And I have it on this little buffet cart that's kind of my makeshift coffee cart. I keep it here, all my coffee down here, mixed with plant stuff, mixed with mugs. Like, you can't get away from the plant stuff in this house. And right next to it, I have a philodendron black cardinal. This is a somewhat new add to my collection. It's giving me a new leaf here. Now, I had it over with the other philodendrons, and it started to stress out on me. You see that? So I just moved it over to this table today, and this isn't where it's going to stay, but I figured I'd let it get closer to the light and see if that fixes the stressing of it. I'm hoping it didn't damage this new leaf, but it looks like it may have. Not sure, but we'll see. We'll see when it opens. Up here, I just love this little weirdo. Look at this monkey tail cactus. Do you see that? I mean, there's a bit of a glare. Do you see how all these little babies it's giving me? It's such a weirdo, and I love it in this window. It gets the perfect amount of light, and I love how it looks there hanging. See that? And now a piece had fallen off of it, this piece here actually. And so I put it in some soil, and it's rooting, and so I'll probably rehome this piece at some point. But where it broke off is now more growth. Isn't that neat? I love that plant. Here I have a little cactus that I put in the succulent arrangement. You can't really see, but it has kind of a bit of a purple hue to it. Can you tell? I don't know, you can't tell. It's kind of, the lighting is not the best right now. But there you go, just a little bit. But I love it, it's adorable. Here I have my Euphorbia mint cream. Now this has grown so much since I first got it, like maybe 2 months ago. It's just spring and summer hit, and it's been happy in this window, and it's grown since like from about here, all of this. Like, that is so much growth, but it's gorgeous. I love it. I love the variegation on it. Here we have some Scindapsus silver lady cuttings, and this is actually due for a repot as well. So I'll be potting that up this weekend. Now the thing with propagating is sometimes if you stick just a standard piece of a green pothos into whatever you're propagating, it'll help it propagate, because I don't use any kind of rooting powder or anything to help it root. I usually just, I put it in I'll take the cutting, I'll put it in a vessel of water and just put it where it's going to get lots of light and just let it do its thing. But I heard that if you did this, put in a piece of standard pothos in there, it would help it root, and sure as you know, it definitely has helped. And so there's a little secret for you. Here is a little Monstera Burl Marks Flame. Now this is, I purchased this from Canopy Plant Company. I love them. I have ordered so many things from them, but this is a little baby one. And it has been happy on this windowsill. This is, this one I think is, yeah. One of these two is a newer leaf. I think it's this one. But this is little baby, and I love it. Now this gorgeous beauty. This is a Philodendron Rio. Now let me get a good angle so you can see the variegation on it. Now take a look at the variegation on these leaves. I am obsessed with the variegation on these leaves. Look at that. Look at, isn't that gorgeous? It's like marbly, and it's like down the middle of the leaf. I cannot get enough of this plant. Like, this is gorgeous. Look at this leaf. Look at that. And I have had it in this pot since it came home. And it's just happy as pie. She's gorgeous. I can't get enough of her. Philodendron Rio, ladies and gentlemen. Putting on a show for you. Now this is a Hoya Crowiana Black, I believe. Now she actually flowered for me. This is the first Hoya that I have ever had that flowered. Now the flower is gone at this point, but I did take a picture and post it on my Insta when it had popped out. But I hear that you're not supposed to get rid of the peduncle because then it won't flower again in that spot. So I left the peduncle alone. And actually, oh my gosh, is that a peduncle growing? I can't tell. But I love this because it's dark and it's beautiful. And it's little and it's cute. Here is my heartleaf philodendron. I love how long this is. It's like a pothos. Like you can't go wrong with it. Like it's just jungly and viney, and it's happy in this, you know, hanging on the slider. I don't keep curtains anymore on my slider. I used to have curtains here, and then they just kind of got in the way of the plants. So the curtains went and the plants stayed, obviously. But a curtain rod, ladies and gentlemen, is a great place or a great way to hang up some plants. And then here we have a beautiful lady, Mandula Pothos. Look at the variegation on her. And I have her in this macrame. I love macrame. I think it's just so retro and delicate and fun and pretty. But I love Mandula Pothos. This and the Philodendron Rio, the creaminess and the white of it just perfect. Look at that leaf. Look at, she is gorgeous. Now it did get this spot here, and I thought it was fungal. So I took her out of the other pot I had her in, treated the roots, gave her some fresh soil, and it seems to have contained the issue. I didn't see any damaged roots, which is what kind of threw me off, so it made me not sure if that's what it was. But I haven't noticed damage on any other leaves. So these are the only 2 leaves that I had seen damage on. And so it seems like the repotting helped. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't go past that. This adorable little thing, well, not so little, but it's adorable. This is a black goldfish plant, and it's called a black goldfish plant, obviously because it's darker. The leaves are darker, but look at these little flowers that look like goldfish. Like you have goldfish living in a plant. They're adorable. Look at that. And there isn't anything I don't love about this plant. It's just perfect. Perfect. I love it. She sits up here with the rest of the beautiful ladies. Now the black pagoda lipstick plant. I love the stripiness of it. I love the darkness of it. I love the weirdness of it. Like, this plant checks off all the boxes. And this also flowers, I believe. So I can't wait to see it bloom. It's still somewhat of a baby plant. It's not completely mature yet. But when having it in this slider just makes the stripiness more pronounced. And I love it. I'm here for it. Now on this macrame hanger, I have this, what you call a creeping Charlie. And these are just cuttings. I had 2 huge mother plants that have been rehomed, but before I rehomed them, I took little cuttings to see if they would take, and they sure did. It's a little bit on the wilty side because this plant does love high humidity, and I don't have a humidifier yet. It's on the way, but there's a whole collection or piece of the collection that I'm going to be moving closer together and keeping it closer to the humidifier to keep them happier. Down here I have a trailing jade, Now this is just these are just cuttings off it. So I had a huge one, long one, and it had to be about 6 feet long. And then the pest got to her. The pest got to her, and I didn't realize it until a whole strand just fell off. Like it turned to powder and just fell off. So I took cuttings from her, and this is just 2 of the cuttings. I have the rest of them growing in different conditions to see, you know, which would be best. But these cuttings have taken beautifully. And I just have her hanging here, hanging out. And she's happy with the sun that she gets, with the light that she gets. And I just keep her watered and happy. All of these plants just got watered yesterday. Down here, I have an Aurelia Fabian stump. This was a gift from my husband, and I love that it's a little tree. Isn't it cute? Now these don't get very tall, and I had 2, but one was rehomed. I try not to buy doubles of anything. Like I said, this one was a gift. The original one I had purchased myself, and the one that I had purchased is actually the one that got rehomed. I can't rehome this because my husband gave it to me, so it has sentimental value, I guess you could say. But she is gorgeous, and I can't get enough of her. Now you do need to be careful because this type of plant is toxic to animals, and I do have indoor animals, cats and dogs, but they are trained, and for the most part I keep this plant up and out of sight when they are in the house. But right now it's getting some light and some fresh air, so I have it down here close to the slider. Now here I have a ficus. Now this is not just a standard, I know it looks like a Chiveriana, but it's not. It's a rose something, but she's beautiful, and she's happy in this little pot in this little corner. I love her. She's adorable. Here I have a fiddle leaf fig giving me new growth. Now this is edema. If you don't know what that is, the red speckle needle, it's edema. That's what they call it. But fiddle leaf figs are my favorite all-time plant. I can't get enough of them. I have a few in my collection. This one is from a cutting I took from a large mother plant that I have, and she has not disappointed. Look at how gorgeous she is. She's just so full, and she loves to be told how beautiful she is, and she thanks me for all the compliments by giving me new leaves. But isn't she beautiful? Now I've taken several cuttings from my fiddle leaf figs and rehomed them. So if you have one of my fiddle leaf figs, comment down below, let me know how they're doing. But she is just gorgeous. No complaints. Now over on this corner here, yeah, let's go this way. I have another ficus here. And what is this called? Ficus Ruby, I believe it is. And she is an OG. I have 2 of these. I have one actually growing outside. I was experimenting to see how it'd be happiest, but she's beautiful. She's happy in this corner. No complaints. I just turned her yesterday so she could get light on this side, but normally she's turned the other way. Down here I have a Ficus Chiveriana. Look at the variegation. I know it looks a lot like the other one I showed you, but they are 2 different varieties. But it's just gorgeous. Like, it doesn't disappoint. Like I said, green variegation is my #1, and this is like, look at that, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You're beautiful, honey. You're beautiful. Do your thing. Yes. Now down here I have a larger Monstera Burl Marks Flame. Now this one just came in. I got this one from the Canopy Plant Company as well, and she is beautiful. So because now I have a bigger one, I may be rehoming the smaller one, the seedling. But she is giving me a new leaf, and I think it's obvious why it's called a Bromark's flame. Like, look at the shape of those leaves. Look at the fenestration. Like, it literally looks, look at the veins. It literally looks like a fire flame. I love this plant. Love it. I was so excited when I saw that they had the bigger versions available. Now, I have several white ghost cactuses, or cacti, I should say, right? That's the proper way to say cactus, plural. Several. Now, I'm not keeping all of these. They need new homes. So if you're looking to add something hardy but beautiful and kind of rare and out there, the white ghost is your girl. She is just beautiful. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 available. Look at the variegation on that one. And they're all unique and beautiful, and I love them all. I may not get rid of all of them. I think I might keep at least 2. But I mean, how do you pick? How do you pick which one stays and which ones goes? Like, I know I can't keep them all. Like, it's way too many, but gorgeous. And I do have 2 Monstera white constellations. Now, these were much bigger plants, and I took cuttings from them and rehomed the cuttings. So these were much taller. They were about like to here. And so I took pieces off, and you can see here where I propagated. Is it visible here? Yeah, see here? This is where I took the cutting. So we had 2 larger leaves and even a third one that was coming off on that cutting that came up pretty high. So I decided, well, let's share because they're beautiful specimens. And I was happy to rehome them to people who would appreciate them. But the variegation on them are just gorgeous. Like, gorgeous. No complaints. No complaints. Now, down here, I have some Euphorbia Watusi. Now, you would have seen on my Instagram and my Facebook and my TikTok that these cuttings are from my grandmother's house. So they're very special. They're very special. I do have more cuttings of this. So if you are interested in adding something with very cool variegation, let me bring it up so you can see how cool the variegation is. So can you see it? Like the stripiness of it? No, the lighting isn't great, but I have a bigger one. I'll show you. But Euphorbia Watusi, look it up. They are gorgeous. And then the last cactus down here is the Stenoceras benecki, also known as the white booby cactus. This has grown leaps and bounds since I got it, at least 3.5 inches. Very cool. Another cool one to add to your collection if you're looking for, if you're like maybe not a houseplanty person, but you still want some plant life. The Stenoceras benecki. Very cool. And I bought this from a local plant shop in my county. And here we have some of those arrangements I said that I make. So here we have a little one with the white ghost cactus. There I have a totem cactus. I'm not sure the name of this one, but it gives little yellow flowers, and it's just adorable. Look at how cute that is in a little bowl. I love this one, the way it gets the pink hue in the light. And this one here, if you look closely, you can see a little nub where it's about to get a little flower. So adorable, so adorable. And I do sell these arrangements that I make. So if that's something you'd like to add to your collection, maybe houseplants aren't your forte, but you want some, like I said, planty things. Succulents and cacti don't disappoint. Oh, and I forgot this little corner here. Here we have the philodendron pink princess. Now I had her way back there, which is probably stunting her growth. But I've moved her more to the forefront and she seems to be taking to it. You see how tiny these leaves are? I think that has a lot to do with where I had her. And again, I think the pest got to her because you see this damage here. So all of these plants have been sprayed and washed down and sprayed again and washed down and sprayed again. So I'm not worried that there's still pests there, but there definitely was at one point. And then down here, I have a philodendron red heart. Now this doesn't look happy, but I promise you this is its normal. And I did take a little baby off it that I'm propagating. I'll show you that in a bit. And then down here, I just have some succulent cuttings. So I have some more of the trailing jade right there. Those are rooting and hopefully they'll take off and become long vines like the ones I just showed you. And this is a string of bananas, I believe it is. String of bananas. And I do have more of this and I'm going to pot this up with the rest of it to make one big plant. But for now, they're just kind of hanging out there. Now this is part one of my houseplant collection. I'm going to have to do this in pieces because until I started talking about it, I didn't realize actually like how many I actually have. So this is part one and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you come back for part 2, 3, and 4, or however many this turns out to be. But this is just one part of my family room. I do have another part over there that I need to go through, and then a whole nother living room and even some in the bedroom. So this may be a multi-part series. But what better way to introduce myself, right? So again, I'm Claudia. This is the Emerald Fig. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for welcoming me. And in case no one's told you today, I'm glad you're here. See you next time. Bye.